The story starts during an American football match. Nicky is sitting in the VIP stands, and Jess is with him. The match is going on, but Nicky is looking around instead of watching the game. He looks towards a woman who gets up from her seat, and suddenly an idea comes to his mind. He bets Jess on how many people will look at that woman. Just then, another person sitting nearby, Yuan, also joins the bet. All three bet $10 each. And after counting, they find out that 7 people looked. Jess had guessed correctly, so she wins the bet. Yuan gives her the money and then suggests betting again. This time, the bet is on which player will commit the next foul. Jess backs out, but Nicky agrees. This time the bet is $1,000. And as soon as the match starts again, the referee blows the whistle, and the player Nicky had chosen actually commits the foul. So, Nicky wins and takes the money. But now Yuan gets even more excited and makes a $5,000 bet. This time the bet is whether the next move will be a pass or a run. Nicky hesitates, but then agrees. Yuan says it will be a run, and Nicky says a pass. The ball is given, and the player starts running. That means Nicky loses. He gives $5,000 to Yuan. Nicky says he doesn't want to bet anymore and tells Jess to come and have coffee. But Yuan says, "You're sitting in the VIP lounge, you must have money. Let's bet one more time. This time $10,000. Nicky agrees again. Now the bet is whether the pass will be completed or not. Nicky says it will, but the opposing team catches the ball. Nicky loses another $10,000. Nicky now takes out money from his pocket and says, "Let's bet $500 this time." Jess is surprised to see Nicky like this. He looks very angry and frustrated. The match resumes. This time too Nicky loses and gives $500 more. Jess tells him to stop. But now Nicky's ego is hurt, and he places a $100,000 bet. Yuan laughs and says, "Do you even have that much money?" Nicky silently throws a bundle of money on the table. Yuan agrees. Nicky says the ball will be intercepted. But this time the pass is successful. Nicky loses again. Jess is shocked. Nicky looks very worried. And then he says, "I still have $1 million. Let's play one final game." This time Nicky says to Yuan, "Take these binoculars and look at the players. Choose any random player you like. If I guess his jersey number right, I win." Yuan says, "Are you trying to fool me? You will cheat." Nicky says, "I won't guess the number. Jess will." Jess gets shocked. She asks, "How would I know the number of a random player?" She tries to leave but Yuan's guards stop her. Jess calms herself and takes the binoculars. Nicky tells her to look at the players and choose a number that feels right to her. Yuan chooses a player with his binoculars. Jess also looks around. Many players are standing, and everyone has a jersey number. Jess gets confused. But suddenly she sees a familiar face. Farhad, who is wearing jersey number 55. She remembers Nicky's words, "Pick the number that feels like yours." She says 55. And that turns out to be the correct number. Everyone is shocked. Jess can't believe it either. How did Nicky know the number Yuan would choose? The truth is, Nicky and his team had been following Yuan for many days. They knew he was rich and addicted to gambling. So Nicky wanted to make a big bet and win all the money from him. For that, he used a psychological trick. He had been planting the number 55 in Yuan's mind for many hours. For example, many people on the way were wearing number 55. The car in which Yuan came had 55 playing in the music 124 times. Security guards had 55 written on their uniforms. Posters had 55 on them. Even when entering the stadium, the seat number was 55. And earlier, Yuan had seen a man, Farhad, whose jersey had 55 on it. So, when Li Yuan looked through the binoculars and saw Farhad again, his subconscious mind automatically picked 55. Jess had not been told anything beforehand so that her reaction would look real. This way no one would suspect cheating. Jess is very surprised after hearing all this. After this big win, Nikki and Jess leave the stadium, and we see a flashback of how they had planned all this. Farhad had been specially sent to the stadium to wear jersey number 55 and casually walk around in front of Li Yuan so that his number would be registered in Li Yuan's mind. Afterward, Nikki and Jess go to a hotel and spend time together. Jess tells Nikki that she really loves him. Nikki hesitates but then says that he doesn't want to get too emotionally involved. He explains that in his line of work, emotions are a distraction, and that's why he always keeps feelings out of business. Jess feels hurt but doesn't say anything. The next morning, when Jess wakes up, she finds Nikki missing. He has left without telling her. Jess is heartbroken. 3 years later, Buenos Aires, Argentina. A big international event is happening. A rich and successful car manufacturing businessman named Garriga is launching a revolutionary Formula One car with unique technology. Nikki is now working with Garriga. Nikki's job is to create a fake algorithm, a misleading technical design, that can be stolen by a rival company so Garriga can protect his real technology. Nikki gains Garriga's trust and meets other high-profile people at the event. But then, suddenly, Jess appears. She is now dating Garriga. When Nikki sees her again, he gets emotional but pretends not to care. Later, Jess secretly meets Nikki and slaps him for leaving her years ago without any explanation. She says she moved on and now she's happy with Garriga. But it's clear from her expressions that she still has feelings for Nikki. Nikki, on the other hand, starts getting distracted by Jess's presence. He begins spying on her and trying to find out if she's genuinely in love with Garriga or just pretending. Meanwhile, Garriga assigns Nikki an important task. He asks him to deliver a fake algorithm to one of his rival companies so that they'll think they have stolen something valuable. Nikki agrees. But Nikki secretly makes a different plan. He actually creates the real algorithm and sells it to a rival businessman for a huge sum of money. Basically, he betrays Garriga for personal profit. However, things don't go as planned. Garriga somehow finds out Nikki's betrayal. He kidnaps Nikki and Jess and confronts them both. Jess begs him to spare Nikki's life, saying that she's not involved in this. But Garriga doesn't trust either of them. Then, out of nowhere, a gunshot is heard. Garriga is shot. The person who saves Nikki is none other than Farhad, the same man from the stadium. Farhad had been following Nikki all along and had come to save him in case something went wrong. Nikki is badly wounded, but still alive. Jess rushes to him, panicked. She